when I'm thinking about, so if we have to clarify, this is for someone who's just starting out. This is just starting out with their business. This is not someone who's already making $10,000 a month. This is like someone who's just starting out with their business. The first thing that I'm going to say is we have to figure out like priorities in terms of goals. I think it's really important to like have specific goals. So like, like I was reading it. Where was it? I was reading it. I was reading an Instagram post. I think it was yesterday. I follow all these like survival accounts and like all these like, survival fighting, all this stuff. And there was this, I follow this one account called Police Posts, which like, if you don't want graphic content, do not follow this account. But it's like documenting like video footage of like, the chest cam footage of police officers as they go out in some really dangerous scenes. And I like it. And the caption in one of them was talking about how you need to have this purpose. You need to have a purpose in terms of, okay, like even if you get in a terrible situation, you always have to know what the purpose is, what your next purpose is. You could take two different people of equal skill levels or like completely zero skill level whatsoever. But if you just tell one of those people what the purpose is, that person will probably fare better simply because they have a direction. They know what way to go. So the person with purpose will always do better than the person without purpose. So with that in mind, I think one of the main purposes that you need to have, there are two main purposes a brand new coach needs to have. Number one is become a great coach, right? And so going off of what you were saying, Mike, I don't know any great coach. So I know a lot of coaches, a lot of people who call themselves coaches. And I know like thousands of coaches. I don't know any great coaches who got their education from short form content. I don't know any great coaches who got their education from Instagram, who got their education from TikTok, even from YouTube. Frankly, the greatest coaches that I know got their knowledge from reading books. Like real books on these topics. I'm not saying you can't learn from Instagram or you can't learn from TikTok, or you can't learn from YouTube. Obviously you can, but in the same way, like when you put out content on Instagram to help people, you're giving them simple, practical ideas to help them improve right now. You're not teaching them deeper knowledge, understanding, and the philosophy and the science. Like you're not teaching that because they don't need to know that. They just need to know, what do I do to get better? That's a lot of the content that you're consuming about coaching and about coaching people. You're learning the fluff. You're learning the top level stuff. You're not taking the time to actually learn the basics, the foundationals, the fundamentals of what you need to learn and understand to really help you become a better coach. So with that, number one is like, you have to read books. You have to. You just have to read books on strength training, on nutrition, on coaching, all of that. You should not be spending much time consuming on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, all that. YouTube, I would say, is a great one, and podcast is also a very good one. But even then, oftentimes when people are watching YouTube or podcasts, they're really not paying attention fully. They're often doing other things. They're like looking at notifications. They're texting at the same time. There's other things. When you're reading a book, you have to be fully present. So please, for the love of God, read books. So with that, the first purpose is become a great coach. The second purpose is to get more eyeballs on you and what you're saying, right? In other words, get more attention, right? So number one, become a better coach, start reading books, start coaching people, doing all of that. The second one is get more eyeballs on you, which means post helpful content. These are the two main purposes. This does not include optimizing your systems. This does not include hiring other coaches. This does not include learning amazing sales copy. This does not include any of this other shit. The two purposes are become a great coach and get eyeballs on you. That is it. So what that means is you got to learn and you've got to post. That's it. Over and over and over. And we can get more into the weeds, but I see so many coaches or so many people with a business like, oh, I want to hire new coaches. I want to hire an assistant. I want to hire this. I want to delegate here. I want to learn sales copy. Shut the fuck up. You are that's like someone who is 400 pounds and has never worked out and has never eaten a vegetable aside from fucking corn ever. Like, you're this person being like, okay, I'm fucking ready to start taking anabolic steroids. I'm going to do a test DECA and D-ball triple stack. I'm going to enter in the Olympic trials for weightlifting. It's like, what the fuck? Like, that's how ridiculous you sound when you're a new coach doing that type of shit. Post and become a better coach. That's your two main goals.
To jump in, that's like a big form of procrastination.
Yeah.
Right? Rather than taking the action that's in front of you, it feels productive. I'm going to optimize my systems. Systems for what? There's no clients yet. You can optimize your systems once you have clients and once you understand what the coaching process is like. Or hiring more coaches. Like, we're not in delegation stage. We're in building stage.
Yeah. How many coaches do you have working for you, Mike?
None. I'm a one-man show.
When I was doing one-on-one coaching, I was the only one. I didn't have anyone working for me. Now that I have the inner circle, I've got Susan who helps with the inner circle, and I have Kat who helps with my emails. But that's the team. That's the team. Like, that's it. Like, all these coaches hiring out multiple. Like, I'm not going to say it's wrong, but I think it's a fucking mistake for the vast majority of them. I think it's a big mistake. And it takes away from, because then you become a manager. Now you're a manager. And if you're a new coach, you have no business managing. Like, you have no business managing other coaches when you're a new coach. It's just like, what is that? You don't know what you're doing. You don't know how to coach. So how can you teach other coaches how to coach? How can you make sure they're upholding a high quality of coaching? You've barely done it.
In fairness, once you're capped out on clients, and if you don't want to take on more and you have a mass attention on you and you want to scale your business a certain way, hiring assistant coaches is one way to do it. But yeah,
I still think it's a shitty way to do it.
Yeah, exactly. And we've talked about having assistant coaches versus, building out a more scalable revenue stream like a membership, and the pros and cons of each. We've talked about those before ad nauseum in the mentorship, but I think on the podcast here as well. We don't need to get into that right now.
Okay, so should I give my 5 with those two purposes in mind? Okay.
Oh, I thought that was 1 and 2. Okay.
Well, those are just the goals with that in mind. So
I see.
So
yes.
You know what?
Okay. Yep, I'm with you.
Yeah. So you know what? Those are 1 and 2 actually. The first one is become a good coach, read fucking books and educate yourself. Number 2, post content. So, and I'm very much on board with you there. I think in terms of posting content, you should pick 1 to 2 platforms and just go all in on those platforms. And every day, multiple times a day, post content on them. I think right now, best platforms, Instagram for sure, in terms of like short form content. And then, and if you're going to post on Instagram, you might as well post on Facebook as well. Because like you just might as well. It's an option. It's there, and I think there actually is really good reach available, despite what a lot of people say. I think that it makes more sense to focus on, for short form content, something like Instagram and Facebook. For long form content, when you're just starting out, writing articles. This is going to be number 3. Write articles. This is not debatable. This is one of the most important things you can do for so many reasons. Number 1 is you can't write an article on a topic without learning a tremendous amount about that topic. I should say you can't write a great article on a topic without learning a tremendous amount about that topic. You can write a pretty shitty Instagram post without really knowing much about something. You can write a tweet without literally knowing anything about something. Writing an article when you're going through you can even bullshit on a podcast. You can bullshit on a YouTube video. You can just say shit and it doesn't make sense. When you write an article, it can't not make sense. It just can't. Like it doesn't work. You can't use your charisma to just get people to keep on reading and following. With a YouTube video or podcast, you can use other things to keep people watching, graphics and animations and your charisma and funny. Like you can't do that in an article. You need to make it so you're knowledgeable. Other people are just, they're not going to read. It is so hard to keep people's attention in an article. And the best way to do it is through really learning and understanding it. So
not to mention through the process of like great writing is great thinking.
Yes.
But great content creation on YouTube or on podcast is not. Like you're
correct.
To write a great article, you have to fully flesh out that idea, which I think you were saying.
Yeah, you just said it much better.
I think you said it better. Continue.
All right, Dale.
All right, Dave.
Not to mention the business benefits that come from it in terms of you're actually going to be helping people. You're giving them so much helpful advice, and that's going to help the people that you want to help, and also it's going to help your business. The search engine optimization benefits. But so I would say number 1 is read and learn, become a good coach. Number 2 is post short form content. I think Instagram and Facebook are probably the 2 best places right now. Number 3 is write articles, right? And so you can see the first 3 are just all attacking those 2 purposes that I said. It's like it's all attacking those 2 purposes of become a good coach and get more attention on you. Honestly, I'm going to leave it there. I'm not going to add a 4 and 5. I think if you do those 3 for 1 to 3 years, you will have a better, more sustainable, and a more profitable business than the 98% of online coaches. I believe that with all my heart and soul.